everybody. How are you? How are things in your world? A beautiful day in Los Angeles. The traffic in town has been diminished due to the lockdown, the coronavirus lockdown, the stay-at-home order, the shelter-in-place, however you want to call it. The traffic on the roads, and I've lived here since 1991, is the lightest I've ever seen it in terms of regular average traffic. And as a result, the skies are unbelievably blue. and the air is so clear and clean, it just boggles the mind. And I mean, I know it's hard to understand. And when I first moved here, I think I've mentioned this before in these videos, I just remember I was in Burbank, which is in the valley, and which is just north of downtown, or I guess main part of LA. And my eyes were burning. My eyes were burning from the pollution. I remember that distinctly. It's like my first week. I was down from the Bay Area where I had originally moved from Ohio. I was living with my cousins, trying to find a job. I came down, and my eyes were burning from the whatever was in the air, the pollution in the air. So, over time, of course, I got my body acclimated and fully pollutioned out. But now it's just crazy how clean and clear the air is, and how blue the sky is, and we're loving it. Plus, you can drive on these roads without, there's not quite as many people trying to run you over. But guys, this video has nothing to do with any of that. This is about Omaha, and we're going to talk about 5 of the worst car dealers in Omaha. Now, Omaha is the feature city this week, and we've been talking about different aspects of Omaha. And one of the things we like to do is get down into the nooks and crannies, the streets and avenues, and look at some of the worst businesses in town. Businesses that you want to avoid if you want a square deal and good service and, attentive service. So these are going to be the 5 worst car dealers. Let's just go through them and you'll get what I mean as we go along. So the first one on the list is Tryout Car Dealer. Tryout Car Dealer right there, right along the river's edge is the dealership. If you go downtown, right along the Missouri River edge, you'll see their establishment. Now, Tryout Car Dealer, it sounds good because they say, in their commercials, they say, try out the car you want, the car you love. Take it for a month. And the problem is, people take them up on that. And they say, okay, I'll take it for a month. And after 2 weeks, they come and nab the car back. And people are saying, hey, wait a minute, you said I could try it out for a month. And the tryout guys say, sue us, right? So they have a very strong legal team, and what they'll do is look for a loophole in how you were treating the car. And in that 18-page form that they make you attest with your signature that you've read all the pages, it says if you drive over 35 miles per hour, that's considered abuse of the vehicle, and they can come and pick up at any time. Well, now, I mean, even though it's Omaha and there's plenty of people that drive at 20 miles an hour top speed, in a city of that size, the average travel rate on the open freeways has got to be over, it's got to be at least 70. 55 at the minimum. So clearly, anybody getting a car from Tryout Car Dealer is going to lose and have that car taken away from them, guys. And there goes your deposit, there goes everything. So make sure you read each paragraph of those 18 pages, and better still, just avoid Tryout Car Dealer. Now, number 2 is Groundswell. Now, this is interesting because it's not the typical name of a car dealer, Groundswell Cars. And the idea, it's an older dealership. They got the idea that the community would be so excited to have this new car dealer in town. Again, this is like 1938, 1939. That it would create a groundswell, right? It almost has an old-timey feel to it. A groundswell of excitement in town, and everybody to come out and get their new cars, and a new juggernaut was born. Well, that was the idea. The only problem is the dealership is so old. I'm talking about the physical building, that they haven't had so much groundswell as they've had downpour. And that's every time it rains, the basement fills with water, and it comes up into the dealer showroom area. So you can be standing in 1.5 foot of water as you talk to a salesperson about a vehicle. So if you come in and there's a saleswoman there and she's standing in the lagoon, and you wade over and you're soaking wet now, to your knees, and you say, "Yeah, I'm interested in looking at a new Buick," right? It's an American car dealership, a new Buick, perhaps a new Chevy. And they open the car door, and then the water starts to flow into the cars themselves. I mean, guys, it's just, you think, well, they'll fix it, right? And they say that I've called them, I've talked to them, and they say they're going to fix it, but they never fix it. So I'm going to say avoid Groundswell Car Dealership. right there in Omaha. Now, the third one on our list of 5, this is a place called Tryout Cars. Now, Tryout Cars was a dealership that also has a long history in town, but it goes even further back, guys, like to the 1920s. And in those days, a jaywalker had a different connotation. It wasn't somebody jaywalking across the road. A jaywalker was sort of an upbeat chap, an upbeat lady, a positive. They called it a jaywalker because they had kind of a swag to their walk. They walked like a jaybird, kind of cock of the walk almost too confident. But really, it was in a positive vein of being upbeat and positive. So that was the moniker for the car dealership. Well, what happened was, over time, the salespeople took it to the extreme. And through the 30s and the 40s, they wanted to be the King Jaywalker, right? The King Jay. And so they would come up with more and more outlandish lies to get you into a car. And it really got the FTC and the Transportation Department put a kibosh on that in the 50s. But once again, it's hard to erase the personality of a car dealership. You just can't do it, especially because it's family owned, and some of the young bucks in the family started getting back into the business after the FTC kind of shut them down there in the early 50s. And by the 60s and 70s, they were all cocky young Jays again. So if you look, here's the thing. Maybe you're different. Maybe you don't mind a car dealer lying to you and coming up with the most outlandish lies. Like with every new car purchase, they're going to throw in a new Christmas tree, right? And it's the middle of July. Well, they know you're going to forget about it. Try driving by there in December 10th and say, "Hey, man, I'm here for my Christmas tree." And they're like, "What?" And they're like, yeah, old Dave told me I could get a free Christmas tree with a car purchase. And they're like, "Dave doesn't work here, dude. Get off the lot." So it's just too much trouble, guys. I'm going to say avoid Jaywalker Car Dealership right there in Omaha. Now, number 4 is Anounce. Now, Anounce is also one of these, I think it's a Midwestern thing, where they have these sort of positive vibes, And Anounce, when they would sell a car at Anounce, this is how they do it. When they sell a car, they make an announcement over the intercom. "Attention, the people of Omaha, please put your hands together for the new car purchase of Miss Lori Senderstrumsky from South Omaha. And then the entire dealership was kind of like a Jimmy. Do you remember Chi-Chi's where they used to do the happy birthday, happy birthday, and then all the waiters and waitresses would come over? Well, this is the same way. The whole dealership would be like, yay, and applaud and whistle, woo, 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 woo. And then balloons would fly in the air. Well, they started that way back, guys, way back in the early part of the other century, the previous century. So, you know, it's a tradition, and a lot of people in Omaha, they can remember their grandparents buying cars, their little kids, and the balloons that fly, and the place to cheer. Well, that's great, and it's kind of a fun tradition, right, that they've had forever. But the problem now is that they have been decreed by the government that they have to announce all transactions. They can't just announce sales. So now when people bring in their car for service and they get an oil change, they announce that on the intercom. Ladies and gentlemen of Omaha, please recognize from North Omaha, Mr. Bill Driver of Stelatsky, who just got an oil change in his 2017 Buick LeSabre. Right, and it would go, and I'm not talking about just around the dealership. This is a bullhorn that went over the entire city. So now you're having your Starbucks out on a nice day in the summer. You're on the patio of the Starbucks, and his announcement comes over and ruins your coffee. So guys, I mean, it's too much. I don't need them announcing every time I get an oil change over there at Anounce Car Dealerships. And number 5 on our list of dealerships, the 5 worst car dealerships in Omaha, guys, is Bushel Cars. And their commercials tell you that if you come on down and buy a new vehicle, they're going to throw in the trunk of the car 5 bushels of corn and fresh farm vegetables. 5 bushels, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. 5 bushels of corn and fresh farm vegetables. Come on down, folks. Well, guys, what happens if you get a little sports car? Okay, you buy a little convertible, right, off the used car lot. Where are they going to put all those bushels? You're going to have to sit on one of the bushels to get your car home. Okay? I don't want to be sitting on a bushel of corn in the seat of my new car, and I can barely reach the pedals, and I can barely reach the stick shift. I can barely reach the clutch, and you got ears of corn that are grinding into my buttocks. That would be horrible. So guys, that's going to be a big no to 5 bushels of corn and farm fresh vegetables in the trunk of the car. I don't need all that. Just donate it in my name to the local food bank. That's what I say. So guys, those are the 5 worst car dealers in Omaha. Hey, what do you think? Do you know of some other car dealer that we should be aware of? Let us know in the comments. And just remember, folks, I made all this up off the top of my head. So please don't use this information for your report at work. You'll get fired. For your application to Harvard, you'll never get in. Or for your senior's thesis, they're going to kick you out of school. All right, talk to you soon.